All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Very, very excited to be with you because we're gonna talk about a topic today that we all need to expose the truth. That's all it matters. Of course, for this particular topic, guys, I'm gonna do it on both platforms. Here is the link to the next one. I'll show it for you here, then I'll put it into the description, into the chat box rather. So this way you guys have it, and we will continue our conversation over there because there is a lot of. It's not a laughable matter. I'm. I don't know. I'm at loss for words as to what has become of some of us humans. Where is something that is called the right, the difference between a right and wrong? It's almost like doesn't exist anymore. So anyway, we're gonna do this on the other side, but before I'll do all this, I need to see who is here. Oh, Harry Local, good to see you. That's right here. I saw you right away as soon as I logged in here. So let me see, guys. I'm gonna go all the way to the top just quickly here. See, Mountain, good to see you as always. Dragon 52, Willie Holman from West Memphis, Arkansas, as always. Good to see you. Caramel Crash, good to see you. Hamad Sivi from England, good to see you. I'm sure you heard what happened to King Charles, and I'm going to talk about that briefly here. Boycott, as always, good to see you. Bon Boyan too, good to see you as always. Very, very excited to be with you guys. Hamad Sivi, or Hedi Lokel, as I said. Farhad Razavi, good to see you as always. Phil, good to see you from Canada, my neighbor to the north. So look at this one here, guys. Look what this gentleman joining us from. Yeah, South Africa. Good to have you here, man. And be proud of your country that took stand, you know. Wong KC, good to see you from. Where is Wong KC? Where is it? Yeah, Wong KC from Malaysia, right here. Good to see you. So, Chanel, good to see you as always. All right, guys, let's get into all this. And the first thing we're going to start with is the questions, because we got to ask the key questions that matter regarding this particular topic. And the three questions that at least they came top of my head right away is, first of all, it's not a weird question. It just we ought to put it out there. Did ICJ, the International Court of Justice, fail the world? Not just the law or justice, whatever, the world in its entirety. Second question is, does ICJ have any credibility left? Especially when you find out how the dynamics inside. And I'll detail all this on the other platform, but I'll mention some here. And the third question we need to ask, where do we go from here? In other words, what is the purpose of this question particularly is now, if you have issues like this, who do we turn to? Well, if we are to say we live in a fair and justice system or just system, where is it? Because this is one of those questions that we ought to literally ask and put forth, because it needs to be talked about. So there is no ifs and buts. So before I'll do this, I'm going to do a headline, share that with you, because I spent time yesterday putting all this stuff together. Because to me, I look at it, this is almost, to me, it's like being at university, believe it or not. Even though I miss being in classroom, I'll admit it. So I'm even contemplating some ideas now as far as teaching in some other country for a semester or two. So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that. So let's start with the headlines. And here is a question, not a question for you, but I'm sure you guys, can you tell me who this individual is in the picture? So if you know, just type it on the chat box, and I'm going to share part of it. This one has to do with what's going on the global stage. You might find it very, very odd, but that's interesting. But till I see, let me see first what you guys came up with, who this individual is. Boycott. Okay. You didn't know who he was. Anybody else? You guys, this is from way back, by the way. Yeah, Caramel Crash. You are on the path. I need the name. The Prince is the book. I need the name. Okay, it's Niccolo Machiavelli. You got it, Q7E. Niccolo Machiavelli is the one who wrote the book The Prince. I had a chance to read it, except I lost my book on a plane. I was flying somewhere and I left it in, where you keep your newspapers, whatever. I left it there. So I was almost close to the end. So anyway, on a side, to understand why this is important, because you have to understand, for example, how do politicians of today are applying the rule of lying to the end. Because if you read the book Prince, which I highly recommend, to understand at least the dynamics of what shapes a leader mindset into thinking. Because here's the thing, many people around the world have associated lying with politics. This is what's important to understand. And you must have never heard someone say, oh, lying is necessary in politics. So where did this all came from? Well, it came from because Niccolo Machiavelli talked about it, how the prince can maintain his power by ensuring who's around him. So I just found it very, very interesting as I was reading up on things yesterday. And I said, yeah, I'm going to share it with you. Next one is our incompetent Secretary of State, who's still very embarrassing. He's now in the Middle East again. He was just there a month and a half ago. What he's going to do today that he couldn't do back then? This is why it's nothing but a show. I think he's there for two things. One of them is to ensure that things in Jordan don't go out of control, because the monarchy's survival. You all know what's going on in Jordan, and I'm going to talk about that one. Second thing, he is in Israel now to finish the conversation, whatever that is about. Of course, the Prime Minister of Israel made it clear before he will meet with our incompetent Secretary of State. He said, there will be no end to the war. So you can just see. So here's the thing. The picture you're looking at, let me see. Yes, that's the picture you're looking at. That's the Tony Blinken with the MBS. And of course, they're going to talk about we're going to discuss the de-escalation rather, and the increased aid to Gaza. So Blinken was there yesterday, or the day before, I'm sorry, or the first leg of his trip, a new tour in West Asia. Then he would continue to engage, and I put this in quote, to continue engage in diplomacy in the region to limit the expansion of the conflict. End of quote. Nonsense. I'm here to tell you it's nonsense. Because what are we there for? As I said last time, countries in the region now are shrugging their shoulders. Who cares for what the Americans say anymore? That's just the way I see it. So it's another fruitless trip that we are paying for it, the tax dollars, because that's how we move around. I ain't going to serve Americans a damn thing. Nothing whatsoever. So that's to me just a window dressing. It's a show. Photo op. Now here is another world leader. How would you categorize this guy, guys? If you can type in a chat box, how would you categorize this guy? You all know who he is. So now what's about this one here? Well, this guy here is calling for a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine. I mean, come on. Would you trust what he's saying? I mean, let's be realistic here. So this is what they're saying. The Chancellor Scholz told Israeli Prime Minister in a phone call that two-state solution must include Gaza and the West Bank, with the Palestinian Authority playing a central role. Now, what is important about this, guys, this statement, is the last part, with the Palestinian Authority playing the central role. It's because Palestinians do not want the PA, the Palestinian Authority, because Palestinian Authority is so weak. That is the whole reason for why the group HA emerged to begin with, because people voted for them in 2006. So we wanted the Palestinian Authority to be in charge of all because we can manipulate them one direction or another. So, but in any event, this guy is calling for two-state solution. Now, would you believe that? I find it laughable. Let me see what you guys typed in the chat box. Yeah, you're right, Karmic Raj. Has no shame. He has no shame. Straightforward. It's Muslim revert. It's another a clown rather. You're absolutely correct. You guys got the idea over there. Here is another picture for you. This one I found it very interesting. I had to go way back to track, believe it or not. Yeah, it didn't take me forever. It took me a few hours to go there and look for the information, and I found it. Now, you all know what this is, right? Here is what's interesting about this. Yeah, what is this, by the way? Let me, I don't like to assume things. I like to, guys, have your input into all this. What are we looking at? Chinese EV, that is correct. BYD, that is correct. So, but here is what's important about it. So, what I found out is that, by the way, Tesla now is very concerned. Why? Is because BYD has become now the world electric car giant. That is why. But that's not what the story is. The story is I went back all the way to 2011. Yeah, what is it? 13 years ago. 2011. What happened? It was an interview. I had to dig for all this and find it. And this is, guys, where I spend the time to provide you information that will be useful to you. I am not here to just sit and chat. I don't do that. We'll do that some other time. But anyway, 2011, it was Bloomberg interview with none other than Elon Musk at that time, you know. And what did the American billionaire double standard guy, because I don't trust Elon Musk, and I'll tell him to his face if I ever get a chance to meet him, respectfully, of course, because he's playing both sides. I can understand why. You don't bite the hands that feeds you, right? But also, you need to take stand when it matters. Because once we check out of this earth, we ain't taking anything with us. We go out as we came in, with nothing. So at least you leave something behind, your legacy that, yeah, he took stand when it matters. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Anyway, what happened in 2011? Elon Musk was laughing his behind about the Chinese because sarcastically, yeah, he was laughing at the Chinese electric car at that time, which was made by BYD, and refused to consider them a threat to his company. Well, look where we are today. So that's what Musk said back then, sarcastically. I even found a quote, and I said, and it says, and I quote, "Have you seen their cars?" Question mark, end of quote. That's what he's saying. So I don't think it's attractive. The technology isn't pretty powerful, and they have serious problems in their home country, China. And I think their focus should be on addressing those problems back home. End of quote. And he added also, and I quote, "They have to make sure they don't die in China first," meaning the cars don't die, "before they dream of competing with Tesla." Well, now look where things are. Who is dominating the market? For my European viewers, guys, I don't know if you heard about what the Chinese EV is doing in was doing to the German car industry. What they doing to Europe? Why? Because the cost and the efficiency of it. Tesla here, who can afford that? I can't afford it. $75,000 for that. I won't buy it. Why? I'm just an average person. Why would I pay $75,000 for a car like that? And now things have turned out. And this is what I'm saying. Watch what a man does. Not what he says. So laughing at the Chinese back then, here he is today. Now Elon Musk, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Behind closed doors with the government, lobbying for ensuring no more tariffs on China, for ensuring that things will have to calm down with China because of the industry business, that is. Because he's concerned. Because a BYD car will cost about 28 to 30,000. Why would you want to go and buy a $75,000 car? The same thing happened with the iPhone. When the Chinese came up with it through using their what's the Huawei, yeah, and of course the word here in the US was has to do with the spying and all this. We can allow that here on the American market. Do you guys know why? It's because the phone from China at the time with Huawei was about $123, $125, somewhere around that. The same time, iPhone was about $400 or $500. That's the only reason why. So why would you want to pay a $700 for phone instead of $150 or $130, whatever that was? The same arguments can be made about BYD. I found it very interesting. And the last thing I'm going to share with you, I am not going to discuss it. I just want to share the picture, and I will do this on the next platform when we switch over there. So I found it very, very interesting. All right, let's get on with our topic here. Now you all heard about what ICJ, International Court of Justice, have done, sort of as far as its decision regarding the filing by South Africa. That's why I used the term I used in the title. It's a farce. I don't shy away from saying it's the truth. Yeah. What else? I was hoping they will do the right thing. Apparently, I was wrong. The rest of the world was wrong. No. This is where the problem is. And of course, for the Arab world and the Muslim world that are useless anyway, leave those aside. But even for those inside the conflict zone, we just use that term there, they were devastated by the decision of the ICJ that has not ordered sort of Israel for a ceasefire, even though the UN Security Council did that and we objected to it. So, and this comes after 4 months of tensions now. Now, you all know how it is, and I am going to detail a lot when we go to the other location. So, and of course, even the word I can say it here, but I'll say whatever I can say here. I'll say it over there. But there is one thing you guys need to know is the history of the ICJ, because it's worth knowing about. Because without understanding that history, it's not going to make sense to you. By the way, this picture, this is an old ICJ leadership back then. Remember, it changes every 9 years. The president of the ICJ took the possession for 9 years, which to me is too long. You don't need to be 9 years there. Why? That's like the problem we have here with our system with the Supreme Court. A life appointment? That's pathetic. We're not a monarchy. There is no such thing in a democracy, so-called democracy, as a lifetime appointment. I don't believe in it. That's just me. I don't believe in it. I used to see it in academia, for example, having what they called tenureship, when you become a tenure. Why? Why? You are teaching for 30 years? You're going to be teaching the same thing you were teaching 30 years ago? The world has evolved and changed, and you need to change with it. The same thing. Why should they be there for 10 years, whatever? Give them 5-year term, 4-year term, and that's about it. But anyway, this is a picture, an old one, and I need to share with you the history of the ICJ. Of course, you need to understand its structure. But how it came about? It was established in 1945 by the Charter of the United Nations. And its official work, meaning the work of the ICJ, began in April 1946. It is considered one of the principal judicial organs of the United Nations. No. As you all know, Harry Lokelo, you will know because you're in Holland, Netherlands, that is. So the seat of the court, in other words, the headquarters of the court, is at the Peace Palace in The Hague, Netherlands. And it is considered one of the 6 organs. There are 6 organs inside the UN. And those 6 organs are, and I need to share this with you, so you need to know who the 6 are. The 6 are, first one is Economic and Social Council. That's one. Second one is Trusteeship Council. Third one is International Court of Justice. Fourth one is Secretariat. And I think there is the UN Security Council. And I couldn't remember the 5th one. That was, yeah, I could remember that one. So anyway, those are the 6 organs that is. So the court, the ICJ, what is its role? And here is the thing. Listen carefully, guys. Its role is to settle, in accordance with the international law, legal disputes submitted by states, and to give advisory opinion on legal questions referred to it by authorized United Nations organs and specialized agencies. Yeah, that's heavy loaded. Basically, it has to intervene in a case like what's taking place currently with Israel and in Palestine and so forth. So the court is composed of 15 judges who are elected for terms of office of 9 years by the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council. This is where the trick is. A lot of people have no clue. What the heck is the Security Council getting involved in this? Why? Because the veto power. And you will know why when I detail to you later on the other platform what's going on with it. It is assisted by a registry. Its administrative organ, its official language is English and French, believe it or not. So the court, the International Court of Justice, for those who speak French, the word is Cour Internationale de Justice. That's the word for it. That's usually where it is. As I said, it's located in The Hague, and that's how they go about. Now, here is the interesting aspects that I found about the court. It's the current members. Well, before I'll do that, let me share one particular picture here. And I'm going to share this with you, and I'll share a picture at the same. Let me show you the picture first. Then I'll elaborate more on this. This is the head of the ICJ as of yesterday. Yeah, because yesterday, actually officially today, there is a new court, new members. I find that it's the term limit. There is nothing wrong with that. It just, what a coincidence. Now, this is the former head. And here is what you need to know about her. And I'll detail more. Her name, because I find it very ironic, very, very, very ironic that she was the head of the court. Nothing wrong with that. Now her name is, let me get her name here for you guys, because you need to know her name. If I find it. Donahue, that's her name. Donahue. Yes, her name is Joan E. Donahue. Now, who was she? She was the legal advisor to the former Secretary of State, another evil person, Hillary Clinton, under the Obama administration. So, and again, I'm not saying anything wrong with that. It's just I found it ironic that she was the one that she had to rule regarding the case of what's going on with Israel. So, and by the way, the court is open to the whole world. There are different people in it. I'm not saying that's something wrong or whatever. It just, I found it very ironic. This is the picture of the recent leadership of the ICJ. Now, as of today, there is a new court, member, judges, whatever. Let me share the screen with you so you see the one that is the former one, which just ended yesterday. So you need to see with your own eyes. The share screen, and right there. Now, that is what you're looking at. The members. You got the first guy from Morocco. His name is Mohammed bin Nouna. You got the John Donahue, the president from 2015, I think, to 24. That's when they end. Anyway, you got the idea of those right there. This is their term. Some of them, not all, because remember, they are not all at the same time. You look at the right side where it says term ends on 24. It ended for those individuals. And when you take that and and we'll get into the recent one. So I looked into the recent makeup of the court. Okay, here's the current members of the ICJ. Interesting that one of the first guy was appointed as a president now is from Lebanon. And guess who was his vice president? Which, by the way, she was after the possession. That's why she had to support Israel so she can get the vote. What a shame on her. Let me share the screen with you so you can see. Here's the current. So you look at President Nawaf Salam. He's from Lebanon. And look at the dates, guys. The court is the president of the court as of February 6th, 2024. That means yesterday. And this is where the problem is with this second person right here, Julia Sibotind. Her people in her country, Uganda, are so pissed at her for siding with Israel, which wasn't right. But she did it because she wanted the vote. It's all about power and corruption. None of those. I have nothing against any of them. I don't even know them. I don't need to know them. Because what just took place was enough for me. And I speak for myself. And this is from Slovakia, France, Somalia, China. You got the idea, guys. Those are the judges that form the new, that's going to be for, their term will be for nine years. And that's why I found very troubling. Very troubling. It's because now the credibility has been put at the forefront. Because it's the right question to ask. So this is where the concern I have personally. And I will detail everything on the next location. All right, guys, here is the link once again for those who wants to join me over there, because I'm going to talk some details over there. Okay, I will see you in about literally 5 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever that is, and I will see you over there. But so far, this is where the trouble, the concerns that I found a very interesting analysis. It was done by Global Research. We give credit. I give credit to the Global Research. It's headquartered in Canada, believe it or not, in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken, and headed by a person by the name Michel. Is a male, Michel Chodowski or Chodowski. Yeah, that's the one. So I give credit to him. You guys, I'll put the link for you to his site, whatever. Very interesting. I support that work and all that. It's because he is fair. So this is, I give credit to that. When I share the analysis with you, you can see why I need to do it on the other location. So, all right, guys. I will see you shortly on the other site, other location that is, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.